Alright, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully the stream is actually working from what I can see on the... Let me stop the music. Alright, so from what I can see on the YouTube side, it appears to be working, so hopefully everybody, if anybody's here, can watch it. I'm pretty sure it's set up to save the stream, so if you do happen to miss this, hopefully it'll let you recap and come back over. And I guess we should get ready to go jump over into the actual lab and set up some port security on a Cisco switch, actually. Let me go ahead and get over onto that. Might be helpful. Alright, let me go ahead and fade you guys in to my screen. And we can go jump into this world of fun. Alright, hopefully you guys are on my screen. Let me see if I can minimize that. It does not appear that I definitely have to get better with this whole program thing. Setting this up to... Oh, there it is. Alright, so yeah, apparently we are on the screen. I forgot it's a little more delayed because we're running normal. We're not doing the high latency. Alright, let me put the chat back up just in case anybody's here. Alright, so this is setting up port security on a Cisco switch. Now, most of the time, the people wonder, okay, why would I do something like this? Why? It just adds more complexity, more stuff I have to worry about. Well, there's a simple thing called a cam overflow attack, and I was going to show it. I don't know if you guys can see down here on the start bar. Actually, I have my hypervisor pulled up. I was going to actually use my Kali box to show you on how this is done, but I couldn't get the virtual adapters and everything to work right. That's why I was a little late on starting the stream. But if you want me to, I can still go ahead and show you kind of what it would look like from that perspective as well. But to set it up is actually pretty easy to do. So first of all, we have to log into our switch. The switch is part of the lab, so it doesn't have any security set up on it at all. It's a physical switch. It's sitting in my server rack right now. So let's get into an enable mode and show this brief. So this is all of the switch ports that this thing has. And as you can see, it has quite a few. And I do have a port channel set up on it, but it's not doing anything. Like I said, this switch is practically not used for anything. It's a fantastic switch, but it's extremely loud, and for my actual day-to-day network, I don't need something that sounds like an airplane sitting next to me. So to enable port security, it's actually very easy on these switches. So we'll get into our configuration mode, and then we'll go under we can do an interface, or we can do the range. So if we know that we're going to do it for our access ports, for example, we can go ahead and go under, let's just pick on 1 through 5, sounds like fun. So we'll do interface GI, or wait, interface, we're going to do the range. Don't forget that keyword if you're actually going to do it. It's not common when we get to use that command a lot, but when you do need it, it is extremely helpful. GI, and let's do 4/0/1, and then use your, okay. And so this is the fun part about actually watching this live, is you can actually watch me mess up. So anybody that's actually knows me knows that my typing skills is not fantastic. Especially my spelling skills. If you watched one of my previous videos, I was trying to spell Google, and I put Googie. I actually had a coworker point it out to me. I was astonished that it actually came back to an IP address. So let's just do an interface, since this is just a demonstration instead of watching me struggle to type. Let's do gigabit 4/0/1, for example. We'll do switch port security. And these are our options that we have here. Oops. So we can change the aging on how long does dynamic MAC addresses that it learns, how long does it stay in there? MAC address. We can specify an actual MAC address. So if we're going to hard set a MAC address, we can easily come in here and go Okay, well, I want this MAC address to only be the one that can talk on here. Or maybe I want to hard set this one, but allow 3 more of them. By default, it's only allowed 1. The maximum, that's where we can change that. Okay, so if maybe we know someone's using virtualization. Maybe they have a Cisco phone plugged in as well as their computer. So maybe we want to go ahead and allow 2. So, or we could be even generous. And if someone's using virtual adapters, it's very common that when you're using virtual adapters, it'll get other MAC addresses. So most of the time I see that 5 of them, 5, 10, is typically not a security risk. Much more than that, you can definitely bog down a switch. Depends on how busy your network is and how you have it already configured. So let's check on the violations. So what happens if it does? This switch has these options. Now there is another one that is out there, but it's designed for the VLAN to shut down. You can shut down an entire VLAN. If somebody makes a mistake, you can shut it down here. So protect sounds exactly like what it is. It's going to go, that's bad, and we're going to protect it and we're going to log it. Restrict, it will do the same thing, but it won't log. Now, shutdown is the default and the most aggressive one, which is very helpful, especially in an environment. You have to have your administrator come in here and go, okay, well, why is your switch port shut down? Well, it's air disabled because too many MAC addresses. And so that would give your IT team or your IT security team time to respond and figure out what's going on with this. So we're not going to change that one, but we can go ahead and hard set it if we want to shut down, for example. And oops. So you guys get to watch like I said, if you ever watch my videos, you'll see my typing skills are lacking at best. So maximum. Come on, Bryon. I know I can spell. It just depends on the day. Maximum. So as you can see, this switch supports quite a bit of maximum MAC addresses for that port. Do you want to ever allow that many? I don't know. It depends on what your device is doing. If you know, okay, well, I have it set to only 10, and I know that I'm going to be hosting virtualization servers, then you can come in here and change this. And like I said, it's per port base, so that comes in handy. Most of the time, like I said, you'll set it to 10. The most common mistake that you'll see people make is this right here. Switch port security. And if you look at it, you can hit enter. Most of the time when you just enter in a command, then just like that, it'll just go, what? But if you see this carriage return right here, that means you can hit enter. This will actually enable it. What we've done so far is we set the configuration for it, but we have not enabled port security on it. So if we click enter, we just turned on port security. Oh, it's a dynamic port. Fantastic learning experience there. So in a Cisco environment, you cannot have it as a dynamic port. You have to hard set it as either a trunk or set it as an access port. And so we can go ahead and do this one, switch port mode access. And then just for fun, switch port access VLAN 666, for example. And obviously that's going to bounce that port, but if we go ahead and do switch port security now, notice how it didn't yell at us. That is actually set up now. So that anything that comes in on that port is allowed 10 IP addresses, or 10 MAC addresses, I'm sorry. And so if we go ahead and get out of there and go show, let's see, SWI. And don't be afraid to use your help, because these are not commands you'll use all the time. So, and it also can vary by the number of commands, or the your model you have. Like I said, this is not something that I typically deal with every day, so remembering these commands can be a problem sometimes. So, show. Let's see. And so what you'd see typically, like whenever you're watching one of my videos, you'll see me go ahead and just type it in the command and go, man, I know this already. But real world, you're not going to remember every command, and you're not going to remember the syntax for it. So if you're going to do what everybody does in the real world, you're going to open up your web browser. And you're going to come back to the documents, or you come into a Google search. Now, I don't know anything about this person or anything about this, but like I said, you're going to see this is how you do it. And then you're going to use you can double check with them and make sure that we're doing it right. But, so switch, show port security. So that's what I was typing wrong. In the real world, you're going to do that a lot. You're going to go, I don't know this because I don't remember this command. But obviously, if you're going for an exam like a CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, or just in maybe an internal exam for your company, you might have to remember some of these commands. So show port security. Now, like I said, we got that enter. We can see that we have it turned on this port. And it is allowed 10. Current addresses, it has 1. And it does not have any security violations. So if this number keeps going up, then obviously you've got a major problem in your network that you probably want to address. And it'll tell you what this one's set to do. You can have others set to just alert me. A prime example of that would be is if you have a trunk port going to something else and you want to have port security, but yet you don't really want to tear down the trunk. You just want it to send an alert message to maybe your network operations team or your service desk and get it to somebody. That would be a real common one. So some of the other fun is we can look at it from an interface basis. And then obviously we can type our GI4/0/1. And then right here we'll give you the good majority of what you'll need. Port security is enabled. So if we didn't type that switch port security, enter, that would not be there. Port status, it's securely up. Everything else, well, maybe not as much. Violation mode is set to shut down. Aging timeout is 0 minutes, so that tells us that it's not aging out anything. And then maximum MAC addresses, 10. Total MAC addresses currently. And what's really nice is you can see this last one. And you can use that to find out if that's one of your actual devices in your infrastructure. And you look at it and go, I don't recognize that one. That ends in, I don't know what that address is. And it can definitely lead you into other troubleshooting areas. So if, say, you get a user saying that, well, I can't connect to anything, like I turn on the computer and it doesn't let me get on the internet, or maybe you're doing remote support and you can't get to it. Maybe you have port security enabled, blocking the port that's been violated, and it's in shutdown right now. And so you have to go in and actually turn it back on. So I wanted to show you on what it would actually look like from an attacker standpoint. But like I said, unfortunately, I can't get the virtual network adapters because here's my current lab box that I have set up with the Kali. I have it tied to this Warzone under this interface. But if I come down here to settings, network adapters, as you can see, it's in the Warzone. I don't have it running over any certain VLANs because I really didn't want this to accidentally leak out into my actual network. I don't think that the port security would, but since it's a Kali box and I use it for a little bit of everything, I don't want it to obviously conflict with anything. But like I said, this is just kind of like a high level overview on how to do this. Like I said, the real world takeaways that I think you should take away from this entire video is you're not going to remember every command, but knowing how to get the information you need is critical. and what it is. Why do we even have port security? Why do we have any of these other security options? How do we utilize all of them together to increase our overall security posture? Well, I hope this has been informative for you guys. I appreciate anyone that's logged in and viewing, and hopefully it's recording. And everyone have a wonderful day. And if you wouldn't mind, give a like, subscribe. If you want to see something else, I'd be happy to show you. All right. Thanks, everybody.